What is going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna go into Flexbox. So this is gonna be the basics. I'm not gonna go too in depth, but as I continue to go, I'm gonna go towards the approach of making layouts and like kind of you can do like a code along as far as learning the concept. Like I'm always gonna most part have this some code already done out, so you're not sitting here with a 30-minute video. I want my videos to be like not too long, so you won't get bored of them. But that being said, let's hop straight into it. Flexbox basics. I got these classes here. This is for padding, background color. So this is that section. And hero is this section, padding top and bottom, color of the text, color of that. Went over all this container row. Well, no, I actually didn't go over this. That's what I didn't go over. So row, the way this works is similar to if you ever use Bootstrap, then you understand how this works. But row means it sets everything. Well, actually, let me take this off really quick. This is what I'm gonna show you. I was like, why am I? I'll even take that off for now. Take both these out so I can show you before I even code anything. So by default, without anything on it, this isn't doing anything right now, but I'm gonna put the flex tag on there and you'll see what this does. But in Bootstrap, this means there's a row across, and then in those rows there's columns that go inside of the rows. They all fit on this one row, so like this. No matter, all these columns go into this row. But we're gonna come here quickly and do a display of flex. And now, like I said, all this content goes into one row, and these are all the three columns. Basically, Flexbox means all these items are trying to fit on one line, and they're taking up as much space, least amount of space as possible, or as much space as they're allowed to take up, I should say. So with this, and I'm gonna show you a thing to fix this spacing, because like this doesn't look good. You don't want your things to be this close. But see, they're not taking up. So like these things, this content, they all want to take up 100% because they're in div classes. Let me make this smaller. They're in div classes, and divs are, like I said in my last one, divs are block elements, so they want to take up 100%, but they can't. So they're like, okay, we'll just take up as much space as we can, and while also still fitting on this line or on this row. I'm gonna come in really quick. Let's say I were to copy and paste this entire thing, this column, and show you what happens. Not that I meant to do that, and then let's do like four of them. But instead of that, did I do that right? No, 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 no. That's not enough. I want to do this one. That's what I meant to do. Come here and grab this column. Let's do like two of these. But yeah, actually, there we go. You see how it gets cut off? It's trying to fit all these onto the same row, but there's not enough space because of the container, and it would just take up too much space. And it's not wrapping, so it's like you could fix it with a wrap, but this amount, yeah, normally I would fix it with a wrap because you don't want this much content. You don't want overflow. But that's for another video. An hour of that right now. But yeah, even that, like if you take off flex, then it's fine if you want to have your content like that. But that doesn't look very good. Let's take all that off. Let's see, what else did I want to say? So that, let's come in here. Let's explain this really quick. So display of flex, display of flex is equal to a display But no, flex direction row. And this is what I explained in my last one, but yeah, this is the default. And then the default, actually, no, I'm doing that backwards. I'm not going to do that. Bear with me 1 second. I did not mean to close that. That finger. Yeah, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Yeah, it's a little confusing. Trying to go through it too fast. Flex direction row. This is the default. Direction row default. I'll come back to this. But there's another option you can do for this as well. You can do flex direction column. And like the previous, oh, I gotta reopen. I gotta redo it now. Okay, yeah, because I closed it. Open live server. Let's even do this. I don't need all. Yeah, that messed up because of that. Okay, we're back. Here we go. Flexation column. Now each content is on its own line. Default. Let's put that back so you know. Default is flex row. Now let's come in here and talk about the columns really quickly. So with the columns, you can do this interesting thing where, like I said, this is the default for this. Width is automatically at 100. They're trying to take as much space as possible. Let's take that off. Actually, am I wrong about that? Let's see. No, it's the same. Okay, I thought this layout changed for some reason. On here, okay, I guess on it does add a little bit of spacing. Yeah. Okay, there's a difference between this default, even default. As default is auto, and then yeah, default is auto, which means like it'll just take the space. But with 100, it kind of bunches the content up close together, and then adds some more space in between. But for this, I want to do something like this to show you a proof point with the 50%. Let's say I don't, you don't like the last layout. You want this to be on here, have some space over here. Something like this works really well. And this layout doesn't get messed up because it's saying at least 50% is gonna fit, or at least the content's gonna have at least 50% of the page or of the container that it's in, not the page. Like there's still at that 50, still at that 50, but it gets smaller obviously as the page gets smaller, and then it gets bigger as the page gets bigger, which is really nice. And then a quick thing for the spacing between, this is what I do. And this is the best way to do it. You just do gap, and then you put a number in like pixels. And gap basically means, let's do this really quickly. Gap is basically the space in between your content. And this works with, as long as there's children, whether it's Flexbox or Grid, this gap property will work. But it won't just work on any random. I couldn't put it here. It wouldn't do anything. I would just put it under the P class. But let's see. I know there's some more things I wanted to go over really quickly. Oh yeah, let me go over that. Let me show you what happens. Let me pull a border. I use this a lot to show exactly what's happening. It's a good resource to use to learn how to code properly and what exactly is happening when you're messing with Flexbox and Grid and things like that. So here, all the same size, 50%, other 50% of the page. And you see, as it gets smaller, the size of the container, they all stay the same no matter what. It's smaller, the content is adjusting to fit the size of the container. And then one other thing is that, oh, I almost completely forgot about this. I want to show you fully understand how the content side of these flex items work. So let's say I get rid of this entire thing for now. See how that space is still there and this is there. We actually don't want that. I wanted to do, I think it might be because it's width. Let's try that. Let's try this for now. Okay, there we go. Since it's at 100, yeah, it's at 100. Since it's at 100, now that means that that item I just deleted, even if I were to comment it out, let's comment out instead. Since I commented out, now the width is at 0%. It's still there, but it's no longer taking up space. And now it's like, okay, since that's no longer there, we're gonna move over and take up that space. I said they take up the space where they can. And obviously the space, the padding on the left and the right are because we have padding already there from the container and things like that. So that's that. And then I need to show you if you take off, let's take off this other one so I can really show this one. Let's comment this one out. There we go. Okay, so you see here, and I'm gonna even uncenter this to make it even more, you can understand even more. Text align center. Okay, let's comment that out for now. Okay, so you see I said the content doesn't, it shrinks to be as small as possible, but here it still goes to the biggest element. So let's say like text, like obviously you think, oh wait, why isn't it shrinking to here? Because if it shrunk to there, then all of this content will be overflowing. The point of these flex box items is you don't want things to overflow. You want things to be inside the container and to flow when you get to a new viewport, you want it to still fit inside the container. So that's why it shrinks to a small basically shrinks to the size of the content. That's the easy way to explain it. So no matter what size this is, even with this in the middle of the page, it's still gonna wrap around the text and make sure the text fits inside the container. But I thought that definitely proves the point, makes the point a lot better. And then let me see, let's take all that out back. Let's put all that back for now with the 50%. And let's bring all of this back. There we go. Yeah, like I said, this border trick is very helpful. You can use that for anything, honestly, just to make sure that everything looks right. For example, border 2 pixels, solid green. Even sometimes doing, yeah, that color does not work, but even just doing bigger. Okay, boom. I see that's where my container is looking like. Make sure that it's not ending here, and then that's the padding on the left side that's making the rest of the container. Yeah, I would highly advise you mess around with this, and like I said, you can even copy my code if you want to. I'll go through and show you really quick. Because getting the repetition in is what's going to make you really understand Flexbox and how simple it can be. It's like this. This is only 59, 58, 59 lines of code. It's very simple. It's very responsive. It fits down like that, and it comes back up. And then that's my favorite part about it. Once you get to about here, then the content sticks there, and then you have the space on the left and right, which looks really nice.